Step right up and pull out a plate. I just caught a catfish and I'm going to show you how to make blackened catfish with Gremolata. Let's get into it. So the way the blackening process works is you coat the fish in butter, and since butter has a bit of a higher smoke point than other oils do, when it hits a really hot pan, it almost accelerates that charring process. So when you coat it with butter and then add a bunch of seasonings on it, then place it into a dry, really hot cast iron pan, what happens is that charring happens and you get all that delicious flavor, and it ultimately starts to turn it a pretty dark color, which is where the name blackening comes from. So all I'm gonna do is coat this filet in some melted butter, season it up with this chipotle seasoning. It has a lot of great flavor to it. It's also a little bit spicy. We're gonna heat up our pan to a pretty high heat, and then we'll throw that fish on there, and we're going to cook it really fast and hot to make sure we get a nice sear and start that blackening process. All right, so this pan is on the heat and we are just going to make sure that it gets nice and hot. Now for the fish, this is really simple. So we're going to start with some butter, make sure we coat it really well. All we're really doing is making this surface sticky with butter so that our spices have a spot to adhere to. And now we'll go in with our chipotle seasoning. And you don't need to be too shy here. You can add a decent amount of spice to this. Good coating on one side. Now the other side. That should be perfect. Here's what you'll do to make the Gremolata. First, pull out a blender or a food processor. If you're fishing for catfish and have one on the line, take your time to reel it in and get it in the cooler for later. Now add a few cloves of garlic to the food processor and just loosely chop them up. Scrape the zest off of a lemon and add it to the garlic. Throw in a big handful of Italian parsley and the juice from half of that lemon. Hit it with some salt and pepper, then a good drizzle of olive oil, and I like to add a hit of chili oil as well to spice things up. Then just blend it on high for a few seconds until it looks like a dressing, and there you have it, your fresh Gremolata. All right, this pan is super hot, so now we're going to go in with our fish. So I haven't moved my fish at all, and I want to make sure that I do that so that we get a good sear on one side. But it's starting to look nice and toasted, so I'm just going to give it a flip. And that's that nice blackening sort of char that we're looking for. So now I'll just give it another minute on the other side. This is a super quick cooking process, so give it another minute and then it'll be done. So you can choose to eat your catfish just as it is hot out of the pan, or you can put it on top of some sort of base like a seasoned rice or a pasta. I just have some couscous here, so I'm going to plate that up. Now we'll go in with our amazing looking piece of blackened catfish. Set that right on top. And now for something a little bit green with a little bit of spice to it. Here comes our Gremolata. All right, so here it is. We've got a beautiful char on this blackened catfish. The Gremolata looks amazing. I've paired it with this couscous, which is just a really nice kind of like fluffy and simple way. It's not distracting from the flavors of the catfish at all, so it's a simple way to eat it. All we gotta do is give it a taste. Man. Honestly, that charred seasoning flavor is so good with that vibrant sort of fresh, lemony, spicy pop coming from the Gremolata, especially with that added chili oil in there. This is amazing. You should be eating more catfish out of Lake Winnipeg. And for more information on this recipe, go ahead and check out that blog post link below.
Manitoba, Canada's heart. beats.